Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome tuning in. So in this video, I am really excited because I can finally show you something I wanted to show you for a very long time now. Deep in my heart, I am a very big Xbox Classic fan because I think this is a very highly underrated system. But I finally got this opportunity to make a review about the Xbox completely modded edition. In this video, I wanted to take a close look at it, just to tear down it and play some games, and how cool is it in 2021. Okay, so the Xbox Classic, it is one of my favorite systems simply because you can do so many great things, and that's what we're going to talk about too. But let's take a close look at these. We're having here three systems, the black one, the crystal and the green crystal. I can say the green one is pretty damn rare, but the one I'm looking for a very long time to review, that was the special edition with all the modifications, including the LCD, because that thing is pretty expensive and pretty damn rare. But in this video I want to take a close look at the Executor 3, the ultimate modified Xbox Classic edition that you can buy. So in this video I also want to check out for what are the capabilities and what is so special about it. As you already can see that when you're looking at the normal edition, they did some additional adding buttons, they have some awesome features, and it would surprise you what you can still do with the Xbox Classic in 2021. Okay, so let's talk about the extra buttons, what you can find and also what you can do with it. So what I understand of, we're having on the left side the protection button. The protection button is a button that you can press, not something with protection from the internet or evil hackers for your Xbox. No, this is only to do that you, so far I know, you can't do a reflash of the BIOSes, because we're having different buttons. And what makes this thing extra special, that we're having the way to have multiple BIOSes on the same single system. So that's something quite unique, because normally, so far I know, in mod chip can only support one BIOS at a time, in combination with some nice LEDs, and we're having a receiver for the remote itself. That was not with the normal version. But another great feature of this device was of course the LCD display. And what I like about LCD display, when you're powering on the device itself, you will get within a couple of seconds an active display with just the basic text about the modification. But when the system has been booted up, you can already see some information. When it's booting up in combination with the XBMC, I did notice you're going to get all of the information of the video that you're watching, or if you want to listen to some music, it will display the title and nevertheless the song. And it's a pretty cool extra feature. In 2021 it is not that, let's say, special, but back in the day that was a big deal, and I can completely understand when people wanted to have this. I think it's a great addition to a system like this. But yeah, let me know in the comments, what do you think of the extra display and all of these features. Okay, so let's do a quick teardown and we'll show you what's inside this Me machine. So this device has been packed up with a Western Digital EDA drive, still an original EDA drive. Nowadays we can upgrade it with an SATA converter to EDA and having bigger disk inside this machine. So at the right side we're having basically the hard drive, and the left side we're having the DVD drive. This is the Samsung version. There are quite some different versions out there. We're having the Philips drive and Samsung. They are one of my favorite versions, simply because the disk drives are very fast and they have no problem reading damaged disk or with some wear on it. But when you take a close look at the bottom plate, here we can find a lot of new developments. Compared with the original Xbox, or better said, a normal modded Xbox, the Executor chip is quite interesting, because of course this chip also controls the display. So this is basically what we can say that was back in the day the next level of modding, in combination not only with the LCD, the mod chip was very extended, and I think it's quite interesting. So let's do an overview of the main board, what is so different about it besides the mod chip. And I just want to give you a quick look and overview, how does it look, or how does an Xbox Classic look from the inside. So here we can find the EDA connection that is needed for the DVD drive and for the hard drive. Yeah, it's really old school EDA drive, we don't even know it nowadays. The mod chip is over here. This thing is quite big in my opinion. Normally we're having these very tiny Paladin chips in most of these old Xboxes. The cable goes all the way to the front over there. And I can tell you, when you lift out the main board, you will see some extra soldering points, because that was a very big project to get this thing to work. Okay, so what I also wanted to point out, with these old Xboxes, some of them, the really old versions like 2001 up to 2003, if I'm recalling it correctly, we're having some modifications needed, and especially with the condensators, they're having some issues. The power supplies, we have some different versions over there. Here we're having the GPU and the CPU. It's always recommended to change out the cooling paste, because when it's dried up, it will give less conduction, so the main board will get hotter in combination with the CPU GPU. This one has more like the older version of the fan. These things pushed out a lot of air, but they were freaking loud. So yeah guys, so prehistoric technology inside. There is not a lot of stuff to talk about anymore, but I just wanted to give you a quick look inside, especially with the chip, the cabling, and I think it's quite interesting to see something like this, but this is something not a lot of people will show. But beside the collectible value, why should you even pick up an Xbox Classic in 2021? I still think this thing is an amazing gaming machine in many different ways. Not only can play Xbox games, we also have the option to play some old school retro arcade games. Games that even run on a Raspberry Pi 3 or 4 nowadays when I'm making this video, but it can run on an old Xbox. So we're having a lot of different interfaces like Hyper Spin, we're having also CoinOPS, and a lot of great ways you can play basically these old school games and bring them together. Another great feature is of course the XBMC that I already shown you with the Executor 3. In combination with this you can do so many great things. Combine this with an HDMI cable, you can even hook it up with your HD television, and I can say it looks fantastic. Okay, so you want to play some old school games. I find it very fascinating that an old school 2001 game system can run the old school Mortal Kombat 1 that a lot of Chinese handhelds have problem with. Another great thing, there is still a lot of development with this Xbox, and if you want to combine this with your retro games from the Xbox collection, you can see we can play so many cool games. It looks, by the way, all nice with a good menu, with some artwork on the back. In the end, I think when you're putting everything together, this is just one mean gaming retro machine. I think for a collector's perspective, the Xbox Classic with the Executor 3 and all the awesome mods, I think it's just a great way. But you also can get yourself just a crystal version. Those things are pretty expensive nowadays, but they are way cheaper than the version, the modified Executor that I'm showing you here in this video. We're having the green version that I already mentioned before. This thing is the same, just a crazy expensive machine, but I really fancy this casing, this crystal in combination with the green. It doesn't even matter which version you're having. There are some different versions with revision of mainboards, the power supplies. But in the end, even if you're going to get a cheap one, a $25, maybe from your local thrift shop, you can do a lot of great things with the Xbox Classic. But in this video, I wanted to show you the special Xbox version that I have been searching for to review here on the channel for a very long time. Because this thing is obscure, it's expensive and super hard to find. And it also comes, by the way, in different versions like the crystal blue, the crystal green, you name it. They did a lot of these crazy expensive modifications back in the day. I want to thank you for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing, hit the little bell, and give this video a like if you did like it. If you didn't like it, just give it a thumbs down, whatever. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.